Hey guys, welcome back. Doing some changes on my house here. Basically, I'm working on keeping the last of the Christmas stuff up here. There's a bunch of items that I had laid out last time. There's a few things that I've shifted in between here. Yeah, so I'm setting up these plates for my little food stall. I had changed some of the items below here. I brought my little statue people out. There's one guy over by the fire here. Basically clearing up the path and setting up some lighting effects as well. So I've got some candles, I got some interesting little fairies that I'd purchased a few years ago. There's a whole lot of cool stuff that you can do with lighting effects and layers. Unfortunately, these Christmas lights don't really appear so well, but it is something that you get an appreciation for, right? There is a little bit of lighting effect that does go on there. Okay, so I'm gonna try and rename this. It's gonna be Loms Noms. Oh, two ends. Yeah, there's just this wicked slowdown. After you get a certain number of objects on the screen, it just starts dropping. Loms, N-O-M-S. Oh, no. There. Finally. Okay, so yeah, I've got plates, I've got little stalls, I got a little letters to Santa kind of stall going on over on the right hand side here. Unfortunately, we can't click these or double click these statues anymore, which is kind of sad. We do have the ability to add nicknames, so technically I suppose you could search somebody up by a nickname on a statue, but it's not really the same thing as just being able to hop right in and access their profile directly from that little statue. There's my sign. Oh, I'm gonna eat my gingerbread cookie. Gingerbreads. Not intended, but absolutely fine. I'm gonna get another couple dozen of those probably this year. Not an issue. Okay, so I'm gonna take this guy up. Always remember your layers when you're dealing with plates are kind of a little funny. I'm going to try and keep it so the plate is showing as well. And you know what? I think I'm only going to need 3 of these plates on this. So I'm just going to keep 3. The next one I want to grab is a hot chocolate. I had hot chocolate items from either last year or the year before. And they're pretty cool. They look really nice. I don't think they steam on their own, but I could potentially throw another teapot under there. If you want to make steamy or smoky effects, actually, you know what? Instead of searching in there, why don't I use this handy dandy search bar up there and look for hot? H-O-T. Search. There we go. There's a hot chocolate right there. Oh, there's 2. I like this one, though. The other one was a tall one. I actually like this one. It looks a little bit more like a big flat mug of hot chocolate. Okay, so there's one of those. Yeah, if you want to make steamy or smoky effects, you can see that there's a little puff of smoke coming out of my my hot chocolate mug here. This gigantic hot chocolate mug, obviously a novelty hot chocolate. If you want to create that kind of an effect, you need to set up with some kind of an item that creates it. In this particular scenario, I'm using a green teapot that was from, or a tea room pot it was called, from the Japanese Nexus. But you could also potentially use a chimney in the present game. So you can go to Handle Furniture. I think there are 500 or 800 grillats there. The other item that you could potentially use is a grill. So there are some grills that you can buy. Basically, they keep your food on them, and they're relatively cheap. I think it's like, again, I think it's like $800, come to think about it. I forget where you picked those up. It might be Red Barn. But yeah, so I got tons of Christmassy stuff. I'm going to add a Yule log here. Potentially, you could also use some other objects to create a smoky effect. Depending on what you've picked up over the years, there were a couple other objects that had a little bit of smoke coming off of them as well. Okay, so you can see that at layer 0, this was not behaving. The hot chocolate that I'd placed here was just not working. Same thing's happening with the Yule log. You can see that it kind of cuts off half of the image. So I'm going to bump that up to layer 1, and works perfectly. It comes right above the bottom of this stall here. Okay, so I'm going to keep this candle a little bit further over. And I'm going to just kind of shuffle my my objects in a little bit, so I got a little bit of a lip on the far right hand side here. Nah, Gingerbread Man doesn't want to overlap that candle, so he's going to hang out here. Get the hot chocolate right in the middle there. Oh, no, that's not going to work. Up a little further, and then my Yule log. Oh, Yule log, what are you doing, man? Take that one off, shift this one over again. One more. There, perfect. Keep it there, Yule log. I'm using hotkeys on the keyboard as well. So M is to move them around. If you use shift, you can move them half increments across the board here, which is pretty handy. Using a rock pet behind this stall to give it a little bit of depth. This one here, I'm just going to call it, let's see, I'd like to call it letters to Santa. I don't know if I'm patient enough to put in those letters though. Put an R, guys, come on. Letters to Santa. Snatta. Who's Snatta? There we go. Santa. Nope. T. Come on, T. And an A. There you go. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to put that sign over by the letters to Santa stall in the front here, so players coming up and touching this will interact with that. Cool. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of jump down here for a second and show you the different statues that I have. Some of the options that are showing in here. So basically, if you click on these statue objects, they look a little bit like this newbie guy over here. You get a bunch of different options. I had gone over this briefly in another episode. There are a bunch of default actions as well, so if you're not really wanting to go through the whole thing and buy a bunch of Gannies, the GIF animations or whatever, or Graal animations, there are options that you have that everybody will have as well. So this guy's doing the samba dance, so I picked this up, I think it was Cinco de Mayo, something like that. Anyways, these guys have little different little dances. And this guy over here is sitting on the brick chair that I'd set up last time. I've also thrown some acorns around. They're not like the most Christmassy of, nuts, but better than nothing, I guess. That was a sour joke, guys. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I've got a bunch of that kind of like edgy stuff going around on the sides here. There's a bunch of smaller objects that are not necessarily really interactive. You got the gingerbread guy as well. There is a little nut hanging out behind this tree over here. I think I'm going to pull it out a little bit so that you can see it. And then I'm going to hop up to the top and see what's going on. So I had the Nutcracker dolls. And I'm going to probably put another Nutcracker doll up in the trees or something back here. I got these little fire objects here. I got these candles, rather. But the important part about these guys is that they do have a lighting effect. So there's several locations where I'm using lighting effects in this level, and the idea really is going to be to kind of bring that to the fore and highlight, so to speak. Okay, I got a little gnome up there. I got a little Christmas tree sign hiding. Might put something important on him later on if somebody wants to go and check it out. And I got a couple of more rocks over here to deal with. So these guys here, I'll take one and put them down by that candy cane, I think. Give this a little bit more depth. Put them at layer 0. So he fits properly. And then this one I'm going to take and keep up in the background up here. So up behind here. Keep a stone up in there too. Actually, you know what? I'm going to keep it over on this side because keeping this stone right next to this stone is going to detract from the effect. Because I have that one all the way on the right hand side here, if I keep it up here, it's going to be really obvious that it's just the same object. We kind of have a thing, our brains will pick up on those subtle similarities, you know, exactly the same object in two very close by locations. But if you start to throw them across the level or something, you tend to focus on, you know, a small area around your player a lot more than the objects on the other side of the screen. So when you kind of walk your character around, if these objects are too close, then you'll notice right away. But you can probably get away with keeping like 5 or 6 in a level and not really making it look like it's duplicated too much. Okay, so I have a tree in the background here. I really like to have it so that players can walk through. There's enough space here and also enough space here that you can walk up and around behind the house if you really want to. Not that there's going to be anything too important up there. Maybe at some point I'll throw something up there, but right now I'm not going to. And yeah, so that's about it. My next real big moment here is going to be to throw the light orb on. But the thing that I really want to highlight is that these lights on the tree don't affect that so much. Like they're not really interactive with the layer of the light from the light orb, which is kind of too bad. You can see it a little bit, but it's not glowy like the other objects. So we'll experiment with this a little bit. Basically, there's an option to go from 20 to 100. 100 is full light. If you go to 20, typically it's not going to work too well. We'll throw it at 20 just to show you what that means. There's an option for light radius 4 to 32. I'm usually comfortable around a 15 or a 20. So I'm going to go for a 15 on there. Keep it low. So yeah, you can see that there is some glow to these lights, but it's not like bright. You can't see, like, for instance, with the candle here that it's super bright, or with the, you know, the lanterns on the these objects here, these Japanese lanterns. You can see that they're not super bright. So I'm tempted to bring this behind this tree, and it really will bring it out. And that's probably like the best impact I could have with that light orb. But what happens is we wind up with a lot less, you know, visibility on these guys up here. I think what I will do is I'm going to reduce this from 20, because what will happen also when we're playing on mobile, it will make it like pitch black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it about 46, I guess. Give it a 46, just a little bit more than a 45. Sometimes those odd or even numbers are good. And that's pretty bright on PC here. I think that will be just the right depth of the darkness on the mobile. Exactly what I'm kind of looking for. Okay. So when you come into the level, you can see that big bright tree. You can see all the little people dancing around. I'm going to get rid of this guy. He's going to go over with the bear on the other side here. The bear and the gong. And that's looking pretty good. So, yeah, this is going to be my Christmas layout, I suppose. There is another super secret layout at my guild house. For anybody who's down with some mini games, I run a game every year. This year it's a player versus player battle for a statue in the middle of the level. doesn't sound super exciting when I'm describing it, but I put quite a bit of effort in, and I've maintained that it must be kept a secret. I'm not showing it on the channel until I'm actually running the games. So if you get a chance and you see me advertising for my minigame, come by. If you win, you'll get a gift. So yeah, one more incentive to participate. I think that's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. The little fairies are sparkling around all over the place. You can see that they're dropping little sparklies in the darkness there, which kind of stand out a little bit more. I'm going to bring this guy down to the corner here so that you can see a little bit more lights. And he kind of will get stuck in this area because he won't go past. This is too narrow, and so is this one up here. So this little fairy will start sparkling down there. It'll draw some attention. I'm not too keen on this pinata. I like it, but I don't like it enough. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip it in behind that robot. So technically it's there, but just barely. some bizarre color in the background of the robot room. There you go. Good enough. Got something in back behind the radio. Yeah, so that's about it. Looking pretty good. Hopefully some people with Christmassy kind of decor on their noggins come in and grab some of these statues. I hope you guys are having a good season so far. I know it's only like the third or the fourth day of Christmas. Whoever's watching, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All the comments and all the the interaction and everybody coming in game and telling me what they like, what they don't like, what they could improve. Really helps out. Thanks again, and I will see you guys next time.